Azerbaijan is a country with clear and focused goals. Its government and people are driven by a few major priorities that shape almost every decision. The most important of these has been the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. For 3 decades, this issue dominated national life. The loss of this territory to Armenian forces in the early 1990s was a deep wound. The desire to restore control over this land was a central part of Azerbaijan's identity. This goal guided its military buildup, its diplomatic efforts, and its national narrative. The recent military operations that brought the region back under Azerbaijani control have fulfilled this long-standing objective, but the work of reconstruction and resettlement now begins. Another key priority for Azerbaijan is its role as an energy exporter. The country sits on significant oil and natural gas reserves in the Caspian Sea. Since gaining independence from the Soviet Union, Baku has worked hard to develop these resources. It has built major pipelines to transport its oil and gas to Europe. These pipelines, like the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan oil pipeline and the Southern Gas Corridor, are vital. They bring in money that funds the government and the military. They also give Azerbaijan political influence. By providing an alternative energy source to Russia, Azerbaijan has made itself an important partner for Western nations seeking to diversify their energy supplies. Beyond land and energy, Azerbaijan practices careful regional diplomacy. The country is located in a very complicated neighborhood. It borders Russia to the north and Iran to the south. It also has a close relationship with Turkey, based on shared cultural and linguistic ties. This means Azerbaijan must balance its relationships carefully. It works with Russia on some issues while also maintaining its independence. It manages a tense relationship with Iran, which has its own large Azeri minority. Its strong alliance with Turkey gives it a powerful regional partner. This diplomatic balancing act is essential for Azerbaijan's security and stability, requiring constant attention and skillful navigation of competing interests. This complex foreign policy is often described as a multi-vector approach. Azerbaijan does not fully commit to any single global power or bloc. Instead, it seeks to build positive, practical relationships with many different countries. It cooperates with the West on energy and security. It maintains a working relationship with Russia. It builds strong ties with its Turkic neighbors and with Israel. This strategy allows Baku to protect its independence and pursue its national interests without becoming a pawn in larger geopolitical games. It is a pragmatic approach born out of necessity, designed to maximize opportunities while minimizing risks in a challenging region of the world. The relationship between the United States and Azerbaijan is a story of practical cooperation mixed with diplomatic tension. It is not an alliance in the formal sense, but rather a partnership based on shared interests. One of the most important areas of cooperation has been security and counterterrorism. After the September 11th attacks, Azerbaijan became a key partner for the United States in its operations in Afghanistan. It allowed American and NATO forces to use its airspace and territory for transit. This logistical support was incredibly valuable. This cooperation demonstrated Azerbaijan's willingness to work with the United States on critical international security issues, forming an early foundation for the relationship. Energy security is another major pillar of the United States-Azerbaijan relationship. Washington has long supported Azerbaijan's efforts to develop and export its oil and gas to Western markets. This support was not just about economics, it was strategic. The United States saw Azerbaijan's energy pipelines as a way to reduce Europe's dependence on Russian energy. This would, in turn, limit Moscow's political influence over the continent. American companies have invested in Azerbaijan's energy sector, and American diplomacy has helped protect the pipeline projects. This shared goal has created a strong and lasting bond between the two countries, even when they disagree on other matters. However, the relationship has not been without its challenges. The primary source of tension has been a United States law known as Section 907 of the Freedom Support Act. Passed in 1992 during the First Nagorno-Karabakh War, this law restricted direct United States government aid to Azerbaijan. It was the result of successful lobbying by Armenian American groups. Although the president has been able to waive Section 907 annually since 2002, citing counterterrorism cooperation, the law remains a point of frustration in Baku. Azerbaijan sees it as an unfair and biased policy that favors Armenia, and it has cast a shadow over diplomatic relations for decades. Further disagreements arise over issues of democracy and human rights. United States officials and human rights organizations have often criticized Azerbaijan's record on political freedoms, press freedom, and the treatment of opposition figures. From Washington's perspective, promoting these values is a core part of its foreign policy. From Baku's perspective, this criticism can feel like interference in its internal affairs. These different viewpoints create a constant diplomatic friction. The United States tries to balance its strategic interests in energy and security with its commitment to democratic values, while Azerbaijan tries to protect its sovereignty and resist what it sees as external pressure. In a world of complex international relations, actions can be easily misunderstood. Certain activities by Azerbaijan might appear threatening to an outside observer, but they are almost always driven by regional concerns, not hostility toward the United States. Take, for example, cyber activities. Like many nations, Azerbaijan is developing its capabilities in cyberspace. Any cyber operations it conducts are overwhelmingly focused on its immediate rivals, particularly Armenia. These actions are part of their long-standing conflict, involving intelligence gathering or disrupting the other side's information systems. They are not directed at United States infrastructure or institutions and should be seen within their proper regional context. Another area prone to misinterpretation is what some call influence operations. Azerbaijan, like many countries, works to promote a positive image of itself abroad. It invests in public relations, cultural events, and lobbying to explain its position on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict and highlight its role as a reliable energy partner. Sometimes these efforts are criticized as attempts to improperly influence foreign politics. However, this is standard public diplomacy practiced by most nations. It is an effort to be heard in a crowded international arena, not a secret plot to undermine American democracy. The goal is to build support for its foreign policy objectives, not to attack the United States political system. Azerbaijan's regional alignments can also be a source of confusion. Its close military and political ties with Turkey, or its working relationship with Russia, might raise questions in Washington. Some might wonder if these partnerships could pull Azerbaijan into an anti-Western orbit. However, this view misunderstands Azerbaijan's multi-vector foreign policy. These relationships are about survival and pragmatism. The alliance with Turkey provides security, while the relationship with Russia is about managing a powerful neighbor. These alignments are not ideological statements against the West. In fact, Azerbaijan simultaneously builds strong partnerships with Western-aligned countries like Israel, demonstrating its independent and non-aligned approach. Finally, Azerbaijan's military actions in the Caucasus region can cause alarm. The 2020 and 2023 military operations to regain control of Nagorno-Karabakh were seen by some as aggressive. However, from Baku's perspective, these actions were about restoring its own territorial integrity under international law. They were the culmination of 30 years of failed diplomacy. While the use of force is always a serious matter, it is crucial to understand that these military actions were narrowly focused on a specific, local conflict. They were not a sign of broader expansionist ambitions or a desire to challenge the global order led by the United States. The idea that Azerbaijan would pose a direct threat to the United States is simply not based in reality. There are several clear and powerful reasons why such a scenario is practically impossible. The most obvious reason is the vast difference in military capability. The United States is the world's foremost military power, with a global reach and technological sophistication that is unmatched. Azerbaijan, while having a strong regional military, has a force designed for conflicts in its immediate neighborhood. It has no long-range power projection capabilities, such as a blue water navy or strategic bombers, that would be necessary to even consider a threat against the United States. Beyond military limitations, Azerbaijan's economy is deeply connected to the West. Its prosperity depends on selling oil and gas to European markets through pipelines that were built with Western support and investment. The country's sovereign wealth fund, which holds its oil profits, invests heavily in Western financial markets. To threaten the United States would be to commit economic suicide. It would invite sanctions that would cripple its energy exports, freeze its assets, and isolate it from the global financial system. No rational government would risk its entire economic foundation for a confrontation it could not possibly win. It goes against every one of the country's core interests. Furthermore, there is no fundamental ideological conflict between Azerbaijan and the United States. Unlike some countries that are driven by a deep-seated anti-American ideology, Azerbaijan's government is secular and pragmatic. It does not seek to export a particular political or religious model. Its foreign policy is based on national interest, not a crusade against the West. The two countries may have disagreements over democracy and human rights, but these are policy disputes, not a clash of civilizations. There is no ideological motivation that would drive Azerbaijan to see the United States as an enemy that must be attacked or undermined. So where do the rumors and claims of an Azerbaijani threat come from? Often, they are products of disinformation campaigns. One major source is media and lobbying groups connected to the Armenian diaspora, which understandably view Azerbaijan through the lens of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict and seek to portray it as an aggressor. Another source can be Iranian media, as Iran views Azerbaijan's close ties with Israel and the United States with suspicion. Finally, in the modern information age, simple misinformation, satire taken seriously, or conspiracy theories can spread quickly online. It is crucial for observers to consider the source of such claims and understand the geopolitical realities that make an Azerbaijani threat to the United States entirely implausible.